1 in 3. That's how many American men will face physical violence, sexual assault, or stalking by an intimate partner. 1 in 3 women worldwide will endure physical or sexual abuse, most often by someone they know. But domestic abuse isn't just bruises. It's manipulation, it's fear, it's control that seeps into every part of your life. I'm Ingrid Dutton, and I survived it. Then I created 1 in 3 so no one else has to suffer in silence. Each week, we break that silence together. Occasionally joined by survivors, loved ones, and experts, we talk about the pain, yes, but also about the healing, resilience, and the fight to reclaim your life. This podcast is more than awareness, it's a lifeline. And a reminder, you are seen, you are heard, you are never alone. Search for 1 in 3 wherever you get your podcasts, because every voice matters and every story deserves to be heard. Hiya, sister.
Hiya, sister. This is Jessica.
This is Ingrid. And this is, it sounds so cheesy,
Another situation.
Okay, so today our topic is, this is not take one, but this is
It's a twofer
of how did I not die? We're going to start this one with a story. Jessica has a personal story. I have a historical story. Super fun.
So we received this email. The person prefers to be left anonymous, and they signed it with the initial J. So I will call them J. I read the email, but I'm just going to go off of memory of what the email said instead of just reading it verbatim. So it was spring break 1999. This person, Jay and her friend, went down to Mexico to go celebrate spring break after working hard at college. And it was just those two down there. They didn't go with a big group of friends or anything like that, but they made friends while they were down there with a group of guys.
Did it say where in Mexico?
Mazatlan? It did say.
I went there. Okay.
Have you? Oh, okay. I've been there too.
I went there my sophomore year. Okay. Anyway.
She didn't say what year it was. Just that was like what year of school it was.
Okay.
Just that was 1999. So they made a group. They made friends with a group of 4 guys. Then they kind of hung out all week long. So there was a bar. It sounded like about half a mile from their hotel that they would walk down to. And Girls Gone Wild was there filming.
Oh.
And Jay and her friend, after a couple drinks of alcohol, participated in the filming of
No way. Oh my gosh. I wonder if they're on there.
I wonder if they are too. I wonder if she ever looked for herself.
Well, we don't even know who it is.
No, I have no idea. I wonder. Anyways, so they were at this bar. And
how horrifying though. Just sorry. How horrifying. Like this many years later to think that there might be like a video of you on Girls Gone Wild.
That's how many Girls Gone Wild are there? There's like 100, I think, at least. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm so glad that's not a fad anymore. So the night before their How Did I Not Die event happened, the night before, one of their guy friends from the group of 4 guys got mugged on his way home back to the hotel. He walked back to the hotel by himself and he got mugged. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't laugh. And they stole his shoes. So he had to walk back to the hotel with no shoes and, just getting his butt kicked.
I guess, did she mention he looked beat up?
I don't know. No, she didn't mention.
Okay. I was just wondering, was he just drunk and he lost his shoes? And then made up a story.
And then came up the story?
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway.
There's no details about that. So that was the night before. So this next night, they're again finishing up at this bar. Because they're so close to their hotel, they would go there. That'd be the last bar that they would drink at before they would end the night. Some random guy comes up to her and her girlfriend and is like, "Hey, why don't you come back to my hotel and you try on some bikinis and I'll give you free cocaine for the rest of the night." The 2 girls looked at each other and they're like, Okay, let's go. So they hopped in a car with a stranger that they do not know in a different country where they do not speak that language
To
and
go do
went,
drugs.
yes, and
Wait,
try on,
so where
and try on
were
bikinis.
I mean, there's so many things wrong. Is this a real story?
Yes. Well, I don't know. According to our listener, whoever you are, it is. That's what they sent. I can't imagine it's a creepy pasta. So yes, these two girls were at a random apartment. They were given cocaine, and the guy's like, "Hey, the swimsuits are in the bathroom." So they
Okay,
go.
hold on. What about their boyfriend? Like not boyfriends, but their male friends. They just let them go?
I mean, they weren't necessarily hanging out together the whole time. They were just a
Okay.
group of guys. They weren't like, we must go everywhere together.
Okay.
So the girls are in the bathroom trying on the swimsuits. One of the girls is like, heck yeah, I'll do this. I'll try this on. The other one's like, heck no, I am not going to try these bikinis on. I don't care what this guy gives us. This is weird. So finally, one of them had a red flag moment when they're already in the bathroom at this dude's house.
Oh, had they already done cocaine?
Yes. And so the other friend comes out and is like, hey man, I'm not trying on your swimsuits. And he's like, okay, is your friend? She's like, and Jay was like, yes, she's still going to. So her friend comes out, tries on the swimsuits, like shows for this guy,
Changing in front of it. She's changing in the bathroom and comes out.
changing in the bathroom and comes out. That's what it said.
And then what is he doing?
I don't know. I don't know if he's just watching her. I don't
Is
know.
he like taking pictures or video?
I don't know. It didn't say. It just said that she was coming out. Well,
like multiple bathing suits, like one bathing suit,
multiple bathing suits.
Would she walk around or she would just stand there?
I don't know. It didn't say.
Oh my God. Jay, you need to message us back. There's so many questions.
So I guess Jay was just sitting, drinking beer and doing coke while her friend was doing this.
Jeez. Good. Let's make all judgments even cloudier.
So,
holy cow.
I know this is so insane. So after her friend tried on the swimsuits, the guy just said, okay, cool. And took them back to the bar.
What?
Yes. Took them back to the bar that they were hanging out at. They hung out there for, I don't know, till the end of the night. It didn't say how long. And then walked back to their hotel.
Oh my God.
How did they not die?
How did they not die? Wow, that's stupid. I don't, none of that is okay with me.
No, so dumb. So insane.
Oh
so
my
if you
gosh.
are in college and you go on spring break, don't do dumb things.
Okay.
Don't do
if
dumb
you're
things.
any age, anytime, don't do the dumb things. Oh my God.
True. Never go with a random stranger to do cocaine and try on bathing suits.
That's awful. What a terrible idea.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to jump into mine because otherwise this episode is going to be 10,000 hours long. I'm super excited. It is the story of Phineas Gage.
I have no idea who that is, but I love the name.
Phineas Gage. I know. Okay. So there's really not a lot known about Phineas and his early years, his upbringing, his education, or anything like that. So he is thought to have been an 8th generation American. And his father,
it's recent time,
huh? Oh, I'm
now.
Just wait. Just wait. I mean, Phineas Gage. Does that sound like a? I mean, I guess it could be a modern.
It doesn't, but you said 8th generation American. I would think that'd be
okay. Well, his father, Jesse Eaton Gage, was born April 1st, 1798.
Oh, not current at all.
Not current. And he married Hannah Trussell Swetland in April of 1823. So Phineas has a few siblings and their birth dates are well documented, but for whatever reason, his is not. And so it's believed that his birthday is somewhere around July 9th, 1823. Again, not much is known about him growing up as far as no documentation of his education, but he was literate. He was able to write and read. His family is documented as being farmers. His grandfather was considered to be an early settler of Enfield, New Hampshire. And he was a farmer, uncles, brothers, farmers as well. So there are speculations on what he did as far as when he actually started gaining work experience. So again, he's thought to have grown up on a farm. So he has some farming experience. And a lot of times back then, the farmers would also help to construct buildings, not build, I guess, build buildings. And in doing so, you'd have to drill and blast rock to get the supplies.
Jeez.
There's also a isinglass.
What would they use to drill and blast the rocks?
Well, I'll get into further detail on that.
Oh, okay.
So there is also an isinglass or mica mine and quarry that was close to where it's believed that he grew up. So I think it was Lebanon, New Hampshire, or Vermont. Oh no.
Heard of it.
Lebanon, not the country. So anyway, there was this quarry and mines that were close by. So he could have possibly worked there as well. Anyway, fast forwarding to his 20s, he ended up working with Rutland and Burlington Railroad, R and BRR, not directly hired by them, but he was hired through a contractor. And he was a foreman. So the plan for RNBRR was to construct railways across Vermont. And that began in 1843. So as a foreman and for the contracting company that he worked for, they were to prepare the grounds for the actual laying of the railways. So
like cut down trees and cut the grass and stuff? I don't know what it takes to lay down a railroad.
So just a kind of like a side note, the foremen back then, so they were in charge of distributing the work evenly amongst the whomever was hired. So a lot of times whomever was in close proximity, whoever lived there, would be hired. So they had to distribute the work evenly. They would log their work hours, and then they were also in charge of pay. And if anyone felt that was unjust, there was a chance that these foremen could be victims of violence and even fatalities because of, yes. However, our buddy Phineas was a favorite.
So like they would go postal before going postal was a thing.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, and the thing is too, I think it was a lot of it was unfair because some of the subcontractors and the foremen were treated differently. Like they were paid more, and they had better living quarters and just had a better life. So I think there was already a degree of that's not fair. And then if they were treated poorly on top of it, just so much anger and fatalities. But Phineas he was a favorite, and he was described as perfectly healthy and strong, active young man, possessing an iron frame, muscular system, unusually well developed. But
so was Phineas hot? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, it sounds like it, right? So he was 5'6" and 150 pounds. So smaller guys back then, which you can still be hot at 5'6" and 150, but it's
absolutely
psychologically, he had temperate habits and possessed a considerable energy of character.
I don't know what that means. He was high energy.
A good character. He just had energy of character. And, they spoke differently back then.
So he had like good morals.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So what they did to prepare is they actually had to blow up some of the ground. And they did that with something called tamping, or not tamping, but you had That's how you prepared for the explosion. So let me
Tamping, like when you make a patio, like you have to tamp down the ground to make a patio.
Yes. So what they would do is they would dig a hole,
Mm-hmm.
and then they would insert a fuse, and then into into the hole they would pour in explosive powder, and then they would gently tamp that in, and then cover that with sand or clay or whatever, and then that they would tamp harder, more forcefully. But of course, when it's just the powder and there's nothing in between, and then that way it kind of compacted things in. So then when you made the explosion was greater because you're not just exploding up out of the hole.
Yeah, you're not just taking off the top layer, you're taking off the middle.
Exactly.
How would they make it explode? Would they put like a cord down in there?
Well, yeah. So there was the hole, then the fuse, then the powder, tamp it, then the sand or the clay, and then tamp it.
And then the fuse comes up out of the ground. Gotcha. Okay.
So it sounds like a pretty easy job, but the person so quickly, I got a lot of this information from a book called An Odd Kind of Fame, Stories of Phineas Gage, written by Malcolm Macmillan. And of course, I also got some stuff from Wikipedia and other stuff online. But most of this is from the book. So it doesn't sound like it would require a lot of brains to do that job, but it kind of alluded to the fact that maybe Phineas was in charge of this. I'm not really sure, but someone had to survey the land and figure out where all the cracks could be potentially in the ground. And you had to figure out how deep of a hole you were going to dig, the angle of the hole, and how much explosive powder you were going to put in. Because if you didn't put enough, then you had to do more. If you put too much, you could damage the ground at another explosion site, making more work. So there was actually quite a bit of, it's crazy that they were able to do all of that.
Yeah. Figure that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the tamping, what they use typically for tamping were crowbars. If you think of crowbars, they're made of iron. And if you hit them, you might
on a rock or something.
Right. Might cause a spark. So Phineas did not use a crowbar, but he used a tamping iron, which in this book, it states that they interviewed somebody, but it was made to, quote, please the fancy of the owner. Mm-hmm. So I know.
Please the fancy.
Please the fancy. So the dimensions of this tamping iron, it's crazy. So it's 3 feet, 7 inches long. And again, remember, Phineas is only 5'6". So 3 feet, 7 inches long. At the largest end, it was 1¼ inches in diameter. Then it tapered down to 1/4 inch at the other end. The weight of it was 13¼ pounds. His tamping iron was also made of iron. On September 13th, 1940.
In the fancy. Sorry.
September 13th, 1948 at 4:30 p.m. Phineas was doing the tamping. And there are a few similar stories, but a little bit of different stories. So one story is he had the gunpowder in, and he got the attention of his workers, his employees, I guess. And so when he looked up, he kept tamping, but wasn't watching, and created a bit of a spark. Another story is he had successfully tamped the explosive powder, had somebody else that was supposed to pour in the sand or the clay. And again, his attention was diverted elsewhere, and he began tamping more vigorously, thinking the sand or the clay was in there, but it wasn't. So then created a spark that way. Regardless, spark was created and the explosive powder was ignited. and it shot his tamping iron through his face. Yes. So it went just under his cheekbone on his left side, up through the back of his head.
Oh my God.
Yes. And it landed, I believe it's somewhere I read, about approximately 25 meters from where he was.
That's like a 3.5-foot nail getting shot through your face.
Shot through your face. He fell backwards. He had a few convulsive movements of his extremities. And in a few minutes, he began talking, and it's felt that he never lost consciousness.
What?
Right. He then, with some assistance, got up and walked over to a man's, he had an ox cart, and he was able to get into the cart and sat there while
walk.
Yes. Oh, and let me just say where this was, by the way. So it was in Cavendish, Vermont, which is just south of Duttonsville.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that cool? I was like,
Yeah.
oh, cool, Dutton. Huh. So anyway, he gets in the ox cart. They drive him home, or they drive him. Where do they go? Anyway, they drive him to the doctor. So he with assistance, he's able to walk out of the ox cart, walk into the building and sit down and wait.
My goodness.
Wait to be seen. So that's at 4:30 p.m. At 5 o'clock, Edward Higginson Williams, Dr. Edward Higginson Williams, was the first physician to see him. And it's thought that he spent time just kind of getting the story, not attending to his injuries, just figuring out the story. At 6 o'clock, Dr. Martin Harlow came in. So now that's an hour and a half after the explosion. And so,
not even including the travel time.
Well, 4:30 was the explosion, and then now it's 6 p.m.
Oh, okay.
So yes, including the travel time.
Gotcha.
And so when he saw him, he was able to talk and everything still. So what they
was there
did,
like blood pouring out of his face or anything?
Well, this totally sounds rehearsed, but it's not. So there was a news article, and one of the things that was said was this quote: "Thus, the entire length of this bar of iron, weighing not less than 12 or 13 pounds." That's the other thing. A 3-foot, 12 or 13 pound thing went through your head. Passed through the man's head, went into the air, and no one knows how high, and was found the next day 4 or 5 rods, which is about 25 meters, from the spot whence it started, covered with blood and brains.
Oh, gross.
Oh, it gets grosser. So brace yourselves. So
I hope no one's eating.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Stop right now. Put the fork down, put the chips down, the brownies, cookies, treats, whatever you're not going to want to eat for the next day. So anyway, they dressed his wounds and helped keep an eye on him. So the treatment of Phineas was broken down by Dr. Harlow into 3 phases. So phase 1, quick thing about Dr. Harlow. I have notes written all over this page in absolutely no order, which is how I always do things. So Dr. Harlow had only been in Cavendish since January of 1945. And so this is September of
1845.
Right. Did I write 19? No, I did not. Thank God. In January of 1845. If I said 19 anywhere else, it's 18. I don't know if I did.
Place.
Okay. Yeah. And he had only graduated 4.5 years prior to this incident. So
Oh,
he's
poor
a
baby doctor.
newbie.
Oh.
Yes. Phase 1, according to Dr. Harlow, one of the quotes is Gage and his bed were literally a gore of blood. So he
Wait, what?
the Mr. Gage and his bed were a gore of blood.
Oh,
Like it was just
Gotcha.
again, stop eating. So first he shaved his head around the exit wound. He cleansed the wound. Oh, this is gruesome. So he was able to remove 3 pieces of frontal bone and 1 ounce of brain tissue.
Oh.
I should have told you not to. You haven't eaten, have you?
Okay, I'm not gonna eat.
Okay. you have tacos coming. Gross.
I'm so hungry. I'm
Gross.
so hungry too.
You won't be. So he shaves his head. He cleanses the wound. He removes 3 pieces of frontal bone and 1 ounce of brain tissue. Then he stuck his index fingers into the top of his head and through the entrance wound, which is under his left eye.
Oh, like a thumb, like a Chinese finger trap.
Oh, God.
Right? Is that what you just described?
I guess. All
right.
Okay. So he was looking for additional bone fragments and finding none, he semi-closed his scalp with adhesive and dressed it. And then he left the entrance wound open and just dressed it. And then don't forget, this was an explosion. So he also dressed the burn wounds on his arms and his hands. Okay. So that's phase 1. Phase 2, which began the next day. The swelling increased. His heart rate increased all by the evening. And according to Harlow, Gage, quote, lost control of his mind and became delirious with occasional lucidity. So over the next 19 days, the inflammation was present. And there were 2 short episodes of delirium. And there was 1 long episode of delirium associated with a coma. So during the treatment, he infused a purgative. So that's something that like purges your body. Like if you think of like
a laxative.
Thank you. But not necessarily a laxative, like an enema or something. Okay. So he's pouring stuff. First of all, he put in a rod to feel around. And then he poured stuff in. And he initially did it every 6 hours. There wasn't really any improvement. He noticed a fetid, seropurulent discharge with particles of brain intermingled from the top of his head and from the base of his skull into his mouth.
So his stuff was coming out of his mouth?
Yeah. Well, there's a hole. So they didn't have the term infection back then, but that's what was going on. I mean, high heart rate, swelling, purulent,
pussy stuff.
Yes. So one of the things that he poured in there was magnesium sulfate, which is Epsom salts. And he did notice somewhat of an improvement then. He did become a little bit more rational. But then, let's see, on September 25th through October 3rd, that's when he became delirious again and kind of slipped into a coma. He noticed a rapidly growing fungi from his left eye and through the top of his head. There was a scant amount of discharge. And at one point...
Scant is a little, right?
Yes. At one point, who was it? Oh, by the way, I just saw Lebanon is in New Hampshire.
Glad we made that clear.
Yes. Well, it was bothering me. It's one of those New England spots. Anyway, I want to say it was like Thomas Williams or Williamson. He started making a coffin for Phineas because everybody at this point was like, this guy's not going to live.
Right.
On the 27th, someone actually told him to stop. You need to stop because you're prolonging his misery.
Told the doctor to stop?
Yes. Here we go again. Gross out. Disclaimer, gross out. He cut off the fungi from the top and the bottom, and he went in and he opened the wounds and got approximately 8 ounces of fetid discharge. Or no.
Oh.
No. Got 8 ounces of pus and blood, then profuse and fetid discharge. Following that, he regained consciousness, was able to eat, and shortly after got up and walked. And now Dr. Harlow told Phineas to take it easy because, my God, he just had a rod go through his head and was on the brink of death.
Right.
A couple times, not just from the rod, but infection that ensued afterward. Looks like your tacos are here. Jessica's husband just walked in with a bag of food. So anyway, he said, please take it easy. Well, Phineas was up. He was walking around. He would try to go out to the stores. It was damp. It was cold. He went out without a coat. So he's not making the best decisions, but I mean, part of his head just got blasted out. Anyway, on November 14th, he came down with rigors and chills. He appeared depressed and irritable. He had to get treated for, probably another infection. I don't know, maybe if it was viral, because of being outside. And anyway, regardless, that was November 14th. On November 27th, he was able to return home to Lebanon, New Hampshire. Yes. So
that wasn't even a month, right?
It was, no, yes. It was about 3, not quite. So it was September 13th to November 27th.
Oh, okay.
So
it's like
almost
2.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
50 something days. So a few things, first of all, he's been a huge area of study. One, because he didn't die, but also because of a few things that happened afterward.
Well, he didn't lose his level of functioning. He was able to walk and talk.
Right. But some things did change. So first of all, they said it was the left anterior lobe of the cerebrum. So the temporal lobe is what was affected. Because there was so much blood and other matter that he actually, was draining into his mouth. So he was swallowing it, which would cause him to vomit.
Oh, yeah.
And during the vomiting, there was disintegrating and pulsifying it, drawing out a considerable quantity of it. This is brain, at the opening and the top of the head. So when he would vomit, brain matter would shoot out. Are you laughing?
I thought that's so inappropriate. I'm so sorry. I thought of a volcano.
Oh my God.
So sorry. Like, can you imagine throwing up and like stuff just shooting out the back of your head? No.
So gross. So
have you ever like thrown up and tooted at the same time? Anyways.
So pre-accident, Phineas was described as having temperate habits and possessed a considerable energy of character, which we already discussed. He was also said to have an iron will and an iron frame. He was quiet and respectful, and he was considered to be the most efficient and capable foreman. Post-accident, his job did not take him back. And they
What?
said, considering the change in his mind was so marked, they could not give him his place again.
Did they get workers' comp? Did they have that back then?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
He paid into short-term and long-term disability.
Did he? Smart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So post-accident, he held a few different jobs, seemed to hold the jobs okay. Like he did okay, but there was still some motor skills that were affected. He ended up traveling. So again, he was in Lebanon, New Hampshire. He went to Boston, New York, San Francisco, and Chile in South America.
Is there
Central?
another Chile?
Well, I just wanted to clarify.
No, South.
Because I lost where Lebanon was, and I wanted to clarify that wasn't a country. So I am clarifying that Chile is the country.
South America.
Yes, South America. So a few other interesting things about this. So, actually, no, let me tell you this. So this is what was said about him by Dr. Harlow. The equilibrium or balance, so to speak, between his intellectual faculties and his animal propensities seems to have been destroyed. He is fitful, irreverent, indulging at times in the grossest profanity, which was not previously his custom, manifesting but little deference for his fellows, impatient of restraint or advice when it conflicts with his desires, at times pertinaciously obstinate, yet capricious and vacillating, devising many plans of future operation, which are no sooner arranged than they are abandoned, in turn for others appearing more feasible. A child in his intellectual capacity and manifestations, he has the animal passions of a strong man. Previous to his injury, although untrained in the schools, he possessed a well-balanced mind and was looked upon by those who knew him as a shrewd, smart businessman, very energetic and persistent in executing all his plans of operation. In this regard, his mind was radically changed, so decidedly that his friends and acquaintances said he was no longer Gage.
So he had no self-control, was totally impulsive, and started dealing with like basic human wants.
Right. So like mentally, the recovery was only partial, his intellectual faculties being decidedly impaired, but not totally lost, nothing like dementia, but they were enfeebled in their manifestations, his mental operations being perfect and kind, but not in degree or quantity. So a completely different person. So this is what then has prompted so many studies about him and understanding like neuroscience and psychology, because now they're able to say, okay, this is part of the brain will affect your personality. What's interesting is there is a photo of Phineas that was posted around 2016. There was a husband and wife couple that collected how to pronounce this daguerreotype photos. So it's a type of photo in the process of how they took a photograph, but they had one of Phineas, and he's holding the tamping iron, which has the sharpened end, and his left eye is closed. So they thought he was a whaler and got hit with a harpoon. So they posted this on Flickr, and people are like, that's not a harpoon. It's not a harpoon. And they're like, oh, well, that sucks. We thought that's what it was this whole time. Well, there was a history buff, Michael Spurlock, that said, hey, that's not a harpoon, but it looks like a tamping iron. That could be Phineas Gage based on the fact that his eye is like missing, I think. And he's holding this tamping iron. Have you looked into this? So they looked into it. So it's the first known photograph of Phineas Gage, and they were able to verify that because the tamping iron is actually in it was initially sent to the Museum of the Massachusetts Medical College, but it's now in the Warren Anatomical Museum of the Harvard Medical School. And that's where the tamping iron is inscribed. It says, this is the bar that was shot through the head of Mr. Phineas P. Gage at Cavendish, Vermont, September 14th, 1848. He fully recovered from the injury and deposited this bar in the Museum of the Medical College, Harvard University. Signed, Phineas P. Gage, January 6th, 1850.
Do you have those pictures?
Oh, yeah.
Can you put them on our Instagram?
I will do that. Okay. I'll put the pictures of Phineas on our Instagram. And also, I mean, there's so much information in this book that, I mean, it's, gosh, how many pages is this thing? It's like 500 pages.
Oh my gosh.
Right. And it's not all just strictly Gage. It has to do with more of the medical, the neuroscience, the psychology and everything. And Harlow, there's a lot of information on Harlow. And I mean, there's a lot more information about Phineas in here that I did not go through. What else was I going to say? I think that's all I was going to say. One thing I did think of. So when I heard the name Phineas Gage, I thought of, and throughout the book, it refers to him as Gage. Do you know of a character with the name of Gage?
Absolutely. Pet Sematary.
Ooh. Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
So what happens to Gage? He
gets hit by a semi-truck.
And he's buried. And when he comes, he was a sweet little boy beforehand. And then when he comes back to life, he's evil and awful and a complete change in personality. So I thought, oh my gosh, how interesting if Stephen King wrote this character based off of Phineas Gage. I didn't find anything along those lines. But hey, Mr. King, if you're listening, which I'm sure you are, because why not listen to and nobody knows about this podcast, but I thought that was kind of cool. So anyway,
that is cool.
Yeah. So in summary, Phineas was in his mid-20s when this accident happened. He lived for 11 and a half years after, not a long time. He died in 1860.
Was he back in America when he died? In the US, I mean?
Yes. And he had started experiencing seizures. So his death is felt to be as a result of this, but not like an immediate result in what you would think of. And there's just so many aspects to how did he not die? I mean, he didn't die from getting this thing shot through his head immediately. He didn't die from a fact that there was an explosion, burn wounds, an open head wound, blood loss, brain loss. There's no antibiotics, really. I mean,
does this help expand the knowledge of infections back then?
Not really. I don't think.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, the doctor's sticking his fingers into his brain, like into his head.
Trap. Oh, that's all I can picture.
Right. And just, I mean, so many things.
That's crazy. Yeah. I've never heard that story before.
How cool is the story?
So
it's crazy. So crazy. Yeah. Okay. Well, hope you enjoyed
part one
of How Did I Not Die?
Part two will not be as gruesome, not gruesome.
It's going to be so gruesome.
It's so gruesome.
But yeah, part two will be, I am going to tell my own personal story of how I did not die. And Jessica is going to tell another historical one. That would be it.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
If you would like to contact us or send in your story, please write us at anothersituationpodcast@gmail.com or find us on Instagram at Another Situation Podcast.
Another Situation is edited and produced by Point 5 Pinoy. Music is written and performed by Tim Crow.